Hello, Year 4s, and welcome to your maths lesson for today. In the previous lesson, we were looking at mental strategies that we could use to help us work out multiplication questions. And in this lesson, we will be looking at different written methods that we can use to complete multiplication questions. So like I said, written methods. So a quick recap, and I'd just like you to do this on a piece of paper with a piece of paper and pen or on your whiteboard, it's up to you. What I would like you to do is get from the left-hand corner or the left-hand column here, excuse me, the one in red, to the right-hand column by making different chains of the red, then the white, then the blue digits, multiplying the 3 digits together in each chain to make a different total. So I will give you an example of this. If we were, for example, to say, let's use the ones at the top, 2 times by 5 times by 7, we would be using the method that we looked at last week by saying that we could do 2 times 5, which I know will give me 10, and 10 times by 7 will give me 70. You could also do 5 times 2, because those are factor pairs of 35, and 35 times by 2 will give you the same answer. So work through these over here and make sure you take one number from the red column, one from the white column, one from the blue column. We can obviously go in different orders, so I could do 2 times by 4 times by 5, so we could have 2 times by 4 times by 5. So I've used that one, and that one, and I can work this out by going 2 times by and 4 times 5 is 20. 2 times by 20 is equal to 40. You could also do 2 times 4, which is 8, and 8 times 5 is 40. So pause the video now and work your way through these making 3-digit chains. And then I want you to test yourself. So don't just give it a start. Put a timer on of 3 minutes and see what the largest total is that you can make. How many different totals can you make? What is the smallest total? So if we use small numbers, making small totals. So you're going to have 3 minutes. So give yourself 3 minutes to do this and then see if you can answer this question. Okay, once you've done that, hopefully you've got some answers and we can move on to the next slide. Again, we're using written methods to work out our multiplication questions. This one is looking at using a number line. So there are 8 classes in school. Each class has 26 children. How many children are there all together? So what this question is asking you is the following. It says 8 classes with 26 students in each class. How many children are there altogether? So it's actually asking us 8 times by 26. So what they have done is they've used a number line that you can see. Here is our number line here. Okay, so we've got a number line going from 0 up to an answer. And if we have a look at this question, we can see they've got 10 times 8, 10 times 8, and 6 times 8. So what they have done is they've broken up 20 into 10, 10, and 6. And then they've gone 8 times 10, 8 times 10, and 8 times 6. So I know that 8 times 10 gives me 80, plus another 80 from 8 times 10, because that is also 80. This is 80. So I'm going to add on, I'm going to count on from 80. I'm going to add on another 80. It'll take me to 160. And then working out 6 times by 8 should give you an answer, and then you add that on to 160. And we know from our times tables that 6 times 8 is 48. So you would go from 160, you would add 48, and you would get an answer so 160 plus 48 should give you 208, because 160 plus 48, 0 plus 8 is 8, 6 plus 4 is 10, the one, so it's 208. Okay. Using this method of the number line and counting on, can you please work out 16 plus 7, 34, 16 times 7, 34 times 6, and 27 times by 4. My suggestion would be to break this number up into 10 and 6, then times that by 7. You can divide. You can do this into 10, 10, 10, and 4, and you would times each one of those numbers by 6 and then add them together. This one you could break up into 10 and 10 and 7 and then add them all together. So take a moment now to work out these questions, and then let's move on to the next slide. Okay, we're using a base 10 and a part whole model next to calculate 26 times by 3. So complete Rosie's calculation. So she's got 26 times by 3, and we can see that she's used I'm going to put that one back. She has used a base 10 one. You can see she's got 26 here. So there's 26 there. And then there's another 26 there. And there's another 26 there. And all she would have to do then is just move her counters down. So she'd add the 6, the 6, the 6, which would give us 18. And then, so we could put the 8 there, and then we would have a whole another 10 there. So then we'd have 10, 20, 30, 40, 50, 60, 70, 78. And we could do that. Let's double check our answer. So we could have 26, 26, 26, 6, 12, 18. Vary the ones, 2, 4, 6, and it's 78. She's also done a part whole model. So she's got 26 times by 3, and she's split it into 20 times by 3 and 6 times by 3. So it's very similar to what we were doing in the previous slide where we were splitting the number up, and we can work out 20 times by 3. I know that 2 times by 3 will give me 6. So 20 times by 3 will give me 60, and 6 times by 3 is 18, and then I would add them together, which would give me 78. So using Rosie's method to work out, I would like you to try the sums that are on the right-hand side there. So we have got the ones about, we have got 36 times by 3. So you could do 36, and I'm going to split it and go 30 times by 3, and I'm going to say 6 times by 3. And then I'm going to work it out. I'm going to add those two answers together and get an answer. So that is a little bit of help for that one. Right, the next written method is this one. So there are 26 teams taking part in a 5-a-side football tournament. how many players are taking part all together? So I know 26 teams. So there's 10, 20, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So there's 26 teams. And they are taking part in a 5-a-side tournament. So how many players are taking part all together? So our question is 26 times by 5. So I can work out 26 times by 5. If we're using this method here, we say 26 times by 5. 6 times by 5 will give me 30. 5 times by 20 or 20 times by 5 will give me 100, and I will add these together. So again, I'm going to show you while I write 26 times by, that's in the wrong place, times by 5. I do 5 times 6, which will give me 5 times 6 equals 30. Then I do 5 times into 20, so 5 times by 20, which gives me 100. And then I add them together, and 100 plus 30 is equal to 130. Okay. And you can see that this one has broken it up for you. So there's 26 in each one of these rows, and there are 5 rows. And if we add the 10s, we get 100. And if we add the 1s, we get 30. So we would have an answer of 130. So they are both the same. So describe how to use a written method to calculate 48 times by 5. What would you write here? What would you write there and there? So think about the one that we've just looked at. Okay, so you're starting with your ones. So you would say 5 times by 8, which gives me 40. You would then say 5 times by 40, which will give me 200. And then you would add those two numbers together to get a total of 240. Remember when you are timesing that this question here, let's get my pen back. This here is not just 4 times 5 because it is in our tens column. So if we remember our columns, so actually it would be 5 times by 40. And that's why we have it here, or 40 times by 5. It is not 4 times 5. Okay, moving on to our next slide. Sorry. Select. Right, using that method that we've just discussed, can you please work out the following? 27 times by 7, 56 times by 4, 65 times by 6, and 47 times by 8. I will work through the first one with you, and then I would like you to have a go at the next 3 before I uncover them. So 27 times by 7, we know that the first thing, like I said, we do, so for our steps to success, we would multiply, I'll write them there, multiply your ones. Okay, so I would say 7 times by 7. Then multiply your 10 column. Multiply your 10s column. Then add answers together. So you would add your answers together. So let's follow my instructions and see if we can answer this. So the first thing it said was multiply our ones. So 7 times 7 gives me 49. Then I said multiply your tens column by the number below. So we would say 20 times by 7 gives me 140. My last step to success was add the two numbers or the two answers that you got, add them together, and we get a total of 189. So what I would like you to do now, using the steps to success that we've just discussed, do B, C, and D for me. So pause the video and get on with that, and then we'll go through the answers. Well done. So we've gone through the answers. You should have got 224, 390, and 376, making sure to use your steps to success of multiply your ones, multiply your tens column, add the answers together, and then you would have had a final answer. So using, I'm going to clear all our drawings. Using the strategies that we have discussed today, I would like you to work out your independent work. I will read through it like I normally do. Please make sure to pause the video and to complete the work on the screen. So, class 4 are using number lines to solve 6 times by 34. Talk about class 4's method with someone, or write down what you think about the way they've done it. So you can see they've broken it up into 10 times 6, 10 times 6, 10 times 6, and then 4 times 6. And they have got an answer of 204. So explain to me what they've done in that way of working. And then using the number line and that technique, please can you complete the questions below? 5 times 32, 7 times 32, and 4 times 56. I will show you just the beginning of this question. They would break that up into 10, 10, 10, and 2, and you would go 5 times 10, 5 times 10, 5 times 10, and 5 times 2. And that would help you do that. So you would go 5 times 10, 5 times 10, 5 times 10, 5 times 2. So complete those 3 questions. Question 2. A farmer is calculating the number of sheep on her farm. She has 6 fields. Each field has 35 sheep. Use a written method to work out how many sheep there are all together. So there are 35 sheep in each field, and she has got 6 fields. So can you work out that one? Question 3. Here are 6 multiplications. So we have 4 times 59, 3 times 33, 5 times 36, 9 times 32, 7 times 21, and 6 times 25. And they're all labeled A, B, C, D, E, and F. Which multiplication would you calculate mentally? Which one could you do easily mentally? Which of the multiplications would you use a written method for that you think it would be too tricky to do it mentally and you could do it with the written method? And then I would like you to work these multiplications out using whatever method you prefer. So you can use the number line if that's what you would like to do. You can use the columns like I have below. So you could work out 59 times by 4, and then you would times 9 times 4 and then write an answer, and 50 times 4 write an answer and add them together. Choose the method that works the best for you. Don't forget to share your work with us on Tapesty, and we will be going through anything that you didn't understand or you struggled with. We will be going through that in our live lessons.